Invest 97W has formed in the Western Pacific Basin and is expected to be a quite significant storm before it approaches Guam or as it gets really close to Guam in the next days. But so far it's a really broad system, poorly organized and trying to get its act together, and its current position 4.9 degrees north, 147.8 degrees east so far. The current wind estimate 30 miles per hour sustained winds, 1007 millibars on pressure, and it's moving likely to the west at 4 miles per hour at least. That happened on the last hour, but its track it's been so erratic right now. That's latest at 16 hours local time in Guam, which is also on the northern Mariana Islands, which those locations are going to be affected by this system in the next days possibly, and that's on 6 hours UTC on May the 19th. And the current location of this system from different populated areas, well, 950 kilometers to the south-southeast of Guam and 1090 kilometers to the south-southeast of northern Mariana Islands so far. No warnings and watches in effect yet, but possibly this could change as soon as the storm gets its name, and of course it intensifies into a tropical storm in the next days possibly. So far 30 miles per hour sustained winds by us Force 13 and also the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, so both we are agreed that this system it's at this intensity estimates right now. And the model prediction of this system and what could possibly happen in the next days. This system is going to remain quite stationary on the next first or 2 days, and then moving to the north-northwest or to the north as well as it intensifies into a tropical storm and possibly attaining typhoon status before it reaches Guam. So Guam and northern Mariana Islands could receive direct effects of this developing system, possibly tropical storm conditions at least, but possibly typhoon conditions as well, depending on how good are the conditions in the atmosphere for this system. But for now the sea surface temperatures are remaining really warm, 30-31 degrees Celsius, and remaining really warm on its path in the next days, so it's not going to be a reason for this system to weaken. And you can see on this graphic the possible winds that could this system produce in the next days. Guam is located about 13 degrees north and 144 degrees east. So on this graphic you can see that Guam is practically over typhoon conditions. So this is something that could happen, we are not going to push that really into it, but it's a possibility that could occur. So Guam and northern Mariana Islands should really monitor the system quite closely. And as well the rain accumulations could be quite significant, between 4 to 8 inches depending on different locations, but those accumulations of rain could produce some problems for the people that could be affected by this system. And about the different model predictions of the possible intensity of the system, well, it's going to intensify really slowly and gradually, but not losing strength, and becoming possibly a typhoon or at least a strong tropical storm by the next 3 or 4 days. The wind shear levels, it's going to be the main case scenario about which intensity the system it's going to attain on the next days, because it's going to remain quite marginal but then increasing relatively high on the next days. So depending on how strong those wind shear levels are, the system will be less or more intense than currently is expected. So let's see what happens on the next days. The sea surface temperature is really warm, so there's no problem with that, 31 degrees Celsius and 30 on the next days. Humidity as well really high, so for the next days this system it's not going to be affected by dry air at all. So that's the floaters and the satellite imagery of this system right now, and you can find them on Force 13's website, force13.com, and on the left side you can see a kind of rotation trying to form at least on high levels on the atmosphere. But on the right hand side you can see that the system has not yet defined circulation. Actually, there's practically no evidence of any kind of circulation, so it's still trying to get its act together, but let's see what happens on the next days. That's all for now. Keep updated with more videos that we are going to publish here in Force 13 on the next days. That's all for today, and see you tomorrow.